Hello and welcome back to In Your Ward here by TVC22. I'm Thomas Stockting, I'm your host today. As you would have seen, we're in season 2 now and we're embarking upon our second interviews with the local councillors. We spoke to Mario's aunt last time out and today we're joined by Ward 3 councillor, Mr. Carl Grimard. How are you, Carl?
Very good. And you, Thomas?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. I believe the last time we spoke, it was in French obviously, so this is an opportunity for the Anglophones to be able to understand us.
Yeah.
But we were stood outside the town hall and it was a little nippy. As I seem to recall, it was a little cold.
Much colder than today. Today we got the sun in our favor. So
yeah, hopefully the wind doesn't pick up too much either. I think just for the benefit of the tape and the Anglophone listeners here, we won't dive into it as much in detail as we did last time, but could you give us a little bit of a short background on yourself as a councillor? How long have you been on council? What led you to running?
Okay, I've been a city councillor for, is it 7 years now? So it's my second term.
Mm-hmm.
Really loved the first term, so I decided to continue. It's a great experience, and what motivated me to do it is to bring change, and back in those years, I think change was due, and I just said, you know what, I'll try, and if people want change, they will vote, and that's what happened. So pretty happy so far. Love the discovery of how a city works,
mm-hmm.
and how important it is to work as a team in all the areas, because there's a lot of challenge right now, and we all have to go through it together. So.
And you talk about that change there. How hard has it been to try and implement changes, especially in the last 12 months with this pandemic that's put everything on hold?
Yeah, well, for me, beginning as a councillor, it was maybe a change of personnel, like of city council on its own. And then, just life will throw stuff at us as a family or as a city, and of course the COVID-19 pandemic has really thrown a big curveball to everybody. So we have to make decisions thinking of individuals, families, and also the administration and how to run a city during that difficult time.
Absolutely, and once again, for the benefit of the tape, because we did speak about it a few months ago, but for the Anglophone listeners, especially in your ward, do we know if we're going to be seeing your name on the ballot sheet again next year?
I really believe so.
Okay.
I'm very happy and very motivated to keep going. I think momentum is very important, especially coming out of a pandemic and being aware of everything that has happened before, during. I think the after will just be much easier to handle. So. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the residents and implementing change, one of the things especially, I've only been in the municipality, as you know, for the past couple of months, but one of the things I do notice, of course, in these council meetings, that you and your fellow councillors do a very good job at bringing local people's issues to the table. One of the ones that came up a couple of weeks ago was a resident in your ward was concerned about the Fibe project that was coming in and potentially maybe going to cause some damage, I believe it was. First of all, can you talk to me about, so Fibe is obviously by introducing fibre optic internet to the region. There might be other providers as well, but how important for the council is it to get that higher speed internet here for residents?
Well, I think it's important to get high speed internet everywhere, not only in the urban area, but also in the rural areas. And that has become a priority for the council, but also for the federal government. So companies are allowed to come in and although this beautiful, actually we're walking in the area where I believe fiber optic may come, and as we know, it's all built up, it's beautiful, and they have to install underground fiber optic cables. Mm-hmm. And while doing that, then the initial plan was sometimes doing some micro trenching, and it's basically digging from the top to install the fiber optic in, and that would mean maybe damaging some properties, some driveways, some interlock driveways as well. And that's where a few residents contacted me and said, okay, this is what's going on. And the administration of the city was awesome in responding, and ultimately what we want to tell the internet providing companies is that, okay, you want to install something in a built-up area, it's much different than something that is being built.
Yeah.
And is there a better way to do it than digging from the outside? And there are other technologies. I'm definitely not an expert, but it's the principle of saying that if there's other option, we should explore them. And City Council was awesome. We managed to write a letter and send it to the higher chain of that internet providing company. And right now, what I sense is that they are revisiting maybe the way they will do it, And I hope that other technologies that are less damaging to the properties will be utilized when we can. And we got to realize that we don't know what's underground. If it's very rocky, then maybe some other techniques will not work.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth looking at it. And those residents that spoke up, we just try to put ourselves in their shoes and say, okay, well, let's explore something else. And right now, I think there's great communication between the internet provider and the city, the administration. And I believe that we will come up with a better solution. Maybe not the best, but we got to remember that fiber optic is the future, and it's high-speed internet. So there are residents in this area that want it, and they are okay with some digging, but I think we have to make sure that we do it the best way possible. And I think the council intent with the letter was to tell the provider, said, okay, can you look at other options? And I think they will. So that's how it happened in this area.
I mean, you say there, and you make a very good point in the fact that it's a lot harder to install these kind of cables and this kind of infrastructure after something has been built already, and it gets obviously a lot easier if things are being constructed. So as the city started the kind of dialogue, because we know a lot of residential construction is taking place in Clarence-Rockland at the moment. Yeah. So have you started a dialogue to look at maybe going, hey, internet providers in the area, if you're looking to install fibre optic cables and you might do it here in the future, what about doing it now? Is that a dialogue you've started?
Well, I wouldn't be able to answer that question, Thomas. I think the infrastructure department might be able to do that. But of course, I'm sure that if everybody's proactive, you want to make those installations while you're doing the in-ground work instead of coming after. But there's definitely a market right now in built-up areas for fiber optic internet. And that's why companies are allowed to come in the cities and install it.
And we know obviously internet is vitally important, especially at the moment. I mean, just as one example, we've got the council who are doing everything online and through Zoom, and your fellow councillor that we spoke to last week does a cracking R2D2 impression from time to time, doesn't he?
Yes.
So one of the things, obviously, reaching out to Bell and starting out that kind of communication, and other internet providers, of course, to be able to ensure that there is that great line of communication, ensure things are done in the best way that compromise everywhere, right? It's never going to be perfect for anyone. But there are risks surely at that point, because Bell and other companies could just take their services elsewhere, could they not? So how do you toe that line? How do you balance so finely that ability to ask for what you want but not deter it away? Because as you say, it's so important to have it.
Correct. I think it's a balance, and city councillors brought up that point, which is extremely valid and extremely important. So you want to keep that communication open, honest, but also understand that residents want fiber optic, and there is a desire to have it. So I believe that the way that the administration communicated with the internet provider was really well done. It says, hey, we want it, but can we work together at doing it maybe a better way for the residents? So.
But the position is, of course, if they don't have, as you say, if something like the rock underground or something of the sorts doesn't lend to other techniques, it's the priority is the internet, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct. Absolutely.
All right. So what are the other plans for it? I mean, because obviously we have the letter came from residents in your area. Are these kind of projects happening all over the place? And what about the rural side of it as well? I mean, is it expanding there too?
Well, I don't know. The internet provider would be able to answer you, but I think it's not a luxury anymore to have high-speed internet, especially with the pandemic, where families, adults are working from home. They design micro offices. They need to have high-speed internet, and also the children need internet to do school online. So I think it's this pandemic has made some stuff rise up, and I think high-speed internet is definitely, it's not a luxury anymore. It's a need for the future as well.
Well, I'm sure that the local residents, especially those that sent that letter in, will be very happy to hear that the council did get that letter off. And as you just stated, that Bell have come back, the company has come back and said that they're going to look at other options, they're going to explore what they can see. Obviously, it's something we will have to keep an eye on in the future, and hopefully not too much of this lovely new ground has to get dug up. What we're going to do, well, I mean, that was it for this bit, and I'm sure the local residents are going to appreciate hearing about this. What we're going to do is we're going to run away from the sound of that helicopter as well, and we're going to head over to the local skate park to talk about some of the stuff going on there. So hold on just a sec. Hello and welcome back to the second half of the interview here with Councillor for Ward 3, Mr. Carl Grimard. We are down right next to the TVC station, actually at the local skate park. So, first of all, Carl, skate park, the name of it, what's the relevance to it? When did it open?
It's the Joël Gauthier skate park. It's quite a heritage, quite a beautiful story for our city. It's also a tragic story. Joël was tragically died in a incident that happened weather-related in Ottawa a lot of years ago, and his parents, the family, the community rallied together because in Joël's heart, he always wanted to have a skate park for the community, and the parents just took that and the community rallied around, and in 2012 this beautiful installation came out of a tragic moment but left a heritage that we can still benefit, and our kids, our teenagers can still benefit today. So that's one of the deepest and the nicest community rallying together in our city. So what an honor to have that in our city.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's a stone throw away from where we work on a daily basis.
Yep.
Obviously things are closed off right now and we're about to dive into that a little bit more, but it's always very well occupied, I find. It looks like it's being used well, a variety, skateboards, scooters, a variety of things used as well. So how important do you think it is for the community to have a place for the young people to come and it's exercise at the end of the day as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, I think it's way up there in the list of areas where we need to make sure it's ran well and it's well maintained, well managed. Our children need to have a place to just go out and enjoy themselves. They can gather when it's going to be permitted and be in a safe, joyful, playful, sportful, because that's pretty. Some people on skateboards, some young people on skateboards, they are pretty good. So we just want to make sure that this place is enjoyed by everybody.
The athletes at the end of the day in sports such as skateboarding, snowboarding, they're making their way into the Olympics more and more now as well. So, I mean, never deter from it. I've been to a lot of places and moved around a lot in my life, and I know that some skate parks and some people in relation to skate parks think there's very much negative connotations, right? Skate park goes hand in hand with drug use or something like that. And it is a little bit of an outdated view, but what's the city like? I mean, you're saying your own personal view, but the City of Clarence-Rockland and as a council, is that something you see as an issue with the local skate park, or do you think it's more a very positive place?
Well, I think it's extremely positive. You want the young people of Clarence-Rockland to have a place to come out and enjoy an activity that they like. But also, you know, when you have parks, you have gatherings. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily the ones that are using the skate park that might be doing the negative stuff. I just spoke to our Director of Protective Services, Mr. Voisin, and he gave me a list of things that have happened over the years. And yeah, there is some negative stuff, but it's a very small percentage of the people coming here that want to use it and just want to have good, clean fun. So yes, it is a situation that the negative has to be managed, but definitely this skate park is such a jewel to our city, and we just wanted to keep it going.
Absolutely, and touching on that, and it's not so much to do with regulating the drug side of it, but the reason why we're talking about it today is in the latest council meeting, it was brought up, and we are in a stay-at-home order at the moment, and we'll be able to see that there's an abundance of locks blocking off all the doors to here. No one is allowed in at all. But prior to the stay-at-home order coming in, there was, I think it was 15 people allowed in the park maximum, 2 on each ramp at a time. And it was being brought up that there was potentially maybe over-gathering in the place. So what is the city doing to be able to regulate that in the world in May when maybe we come out of this stay-at-home order? What's the city going to be able to do to stop that?
Well, first and foremost, we just can't wait to get out of these conditions, and our young people are the same. They want to go out and they want to enjoy. And again, managing numbers and distances, it's almost impossible to be perfect. I think the aim of the game is to respect the restrictions, and having that balance between the restrictions and being able to have some little freedom to be able to use the skate park. We had events over the years, negative events, of course, like Mr. Voisin told me about bullying, even graffiti going to the splash pad besides the skate park. But again, these negative things are very, very small compared to all the positive benefits that this skate park brings to our community. So our responsibility as a council and an administration is to make sure we do everything we can to manage how things are being done here and make sure everybody's safe and happy to come here.
And the municipality of Clarence-Rockland is vast, it's very large. There are not a tremendous number of bylaw officers who do incredible work with the limited resources sometimes that they have, especially being spread so thin, as I just mentioned. So what kind of tools are the City of Clarence-Rockland trying to implement? Because I know there's something that got approved in budget last year, right,
Yes.
to try and help the bylaw officers do an even better job than they're already doing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about being efficient with the resources you have. So very happy that City Council, based on a project that was brought to us from the Protective Services, we're going to equip this park with a camera system that will enable not only to have eyes on it, but for the bylaw officers in their vehicles having access to view the live image on their in-car laptop. So wherever they are, they might be a few kilometers away from here and just monitoring the park by looking at their laptop in their cars, and they'll be able to see if there's something that, you know, sometimes just coming in and saying hi to the kids is a great deterrent, showing the flag. And residents need to know that bylaw, when the park is open, are here every day. But you can only do so much because of the file load and the call loads that the bylaw department has. So we want to use technology to be more proactive. So in case of reacting to a situation, if they can see in their in-car laptops that something might be developing, it's just a good thing to show the flag type thing, to just drive by, get out, take a little walk. That camera system is going to allow us to do it. So it's a pilot project, but the very first camera, Council has decided to install it in the Joël Gauthier skate park.
Absolutely, and as you say as well, it means bylaws don't have to waste their time to come to the skate park if they can see on the camera that potentially there's no one there anyway.
Absolutely.
And they can stick to another area within our municipality.
That's it.
You said it's a pilot project. I believe that when it was originally proposed to council in the budget, there was 30 odd cameras, but there's only 6 being put in place. Was that just literally, as you say, pilot project because you're not totally sure it will work out?
Exactly. There's no aim in buying too many when you don't know or you're not sure if it's going to be profitable. I think it's just good financial management. So we said, let's get a smaller number, put them around the city, see how it goes. And if we feel that it's something that could develop to something better and bigger, then we'll revisit it.
And obviously cameras popping up anywhere can be a little bit controversial sometimes. Do you think that it is a little bit of an invasion of privacy for these kids who are out doing a recreation, or do you think, like, because it's owned by the municipality, so it's perfectly fine? I
think this is a public area, and safety of our young people or anybody in the park outweighs the any other rights, in my opinion. And it's a public area, so there's no problem having cameras to just be a great way to surveil the situation and I'm sure prevent some events from happening.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of parents and residents out there will be very happy to hear that the city is putting safety first in all of this. Do we have a timeline? Any idea when you said that first camera is going to pop up in here? Do you have any idea when it's popping up?
Well, I just spoke to Mr. Voisin again yesterday or the day before, and it's ordered, so it's on the way. Then it's a question of installation and doing some software activation, and then we'll be able to roll with that.
And is it a camera that's going to run all year round, or because I mean it gets so cold in this country in the winter?
Yeah, I don't think it will have to run all year because it's going to be aimed at the skate park.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very good cameras. They can be used all year round. No
and one of the other things regarding the skate park was at this latest committee meeting, a couple of councillors, including yourself, agreed to get together and form a sort of like subcommittee, right? Am I right in saying to specialise on the skate park? What was the reason behind feeling like the skate park needed a bit of a subcommittee and a chat?
Well, I think using technology is one thing, but sitting down together and bringing maybe other ideas, creative ideas of making this place safer and better for our young people is something that has to be looked after, and some of the councillors jumped at the occasion to sit down. I even possibly see some residents coming in, especially those who are coming here with their young ones and seeing what's happening and maybe giving us ideas to make it a better and a safer place. So it's wide open right now. We're moving forward, and we hope that through consultation and committees some tangible actions will be able to be taken.
And this subcommittee, do you know when the first meeting is it going to be? Is it? Well, I guess it will probably be virtual. Will public be able to listen into it?
I don't know about that. I think the administration would be able to answer, but I know that some dates are being already thrown. I haven't received the correspondence yet, but the minute we can sit down, it's going to be virtual. And then let's have our first meeting, put some good foundations on the ground where we see the committee going, because you can have committees and talk, but I think it's going to be very well organized, and I look forward to having more solutions or more initiatives to make this park the success and the heritage it is.
Fantastic. It almost goes without saying, but just to finish off here, despite the fact that places often negative news travels a lot faster than positive news, there is no intention plan ever to close down this skate park at all, right?
Oh, absolutely not. This is here to stay, and it never crossed anyone's mind. It's just let's make it a better place. Let's make it a good place for our young people and anybody coming to the park that wants to come and watch the tricks being done, and that's what we want to do. We want this whole park, including Joël Gauthier skate park, to be a beautiful place to come and enjoy.
You never know, you might be able to go viral with the cameras as well, with some kids doing some cool tricks.
You never know, you never know.
Carl, thank you so much for your time today. I'm sure everyone will be very relieved to hear that there's nothing negative going to happen to this skate park, which, as you say, is almost like a heritage site really for the community. So again, always thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
And thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time with hopefully Councillor Cardarelli. But as we all know, all the councillors have their busy schedules, so we'll squeeze them in as and when we can. Thanks again for watching.